Welcome to our 19th century coach house. This is going to be our big renovation project for 2025. The plan for this outbuilding is that it's going to become my new studio space.
And some other little secret ideas.
We might have some other ideas. So this coach house was built in the 19th century, and it was built at the same time that the left wing extension of the Chateau was built. Originally, it would have been a coach house. It would have held the carriages in the middle section, and then it would have housed probably half a dozen horses in the stables. I think we even heard that there were some workers that were living at one point up in the attic space. Since then, it's just become a sort of dumping ground since we moved in, and we've always been sort of putting things in there that we don't know where else to put it. This room here, we know that the previous owners did a little bit of work in here, so this is not the original state because, for example, there is concrete on the floor, and in the other parts of the coach house there is beautiful brick. So we know that under here there's probably some nice brick. One of the really beautiful details that I love here is these half opening doors. So these are stable doors so that the horses could look out. And then we can see they had these semicircular windows that sort of follow the form of the archways, which are really beautiful. But they did board up quite a lot of them. So they obviously didn't need to have as many openings. And they just concreted them up, bricked them up.
Well, I think that's original. I think it's when they built it, they didn't bother to have expensive windows everywhere. They just reused. So? Yes, that's definitely old windows. I think that's one of the first things we have to do is to get rid of the
ivy. The ivy is growing inside here.
Like in all of these rooms, it's the beautiful ceiling. And we should keep these ceilings.
Yes, I agree. They're
lower
beautiful.
These ceilings, especially because I don't think we're going to use the upper floor for now. One of the many problems here is that the parts of the ceilings are rotten. So we need to see how to save the main beams. I think we can save them, but we have to change the floorboards upstairs. Is it big enough for you? Twice the size of this room?
I think this is the size I have about now. Yeah. And so the additional space would be, let's see
what's behind this door. This is now the good moment to show you what we have to do with the facade. They were built with some random rocks that were found in the fields.
Flintstone.
Yes, flintstones. Yeah. And then on top of it, they put a plaster made out of probably lime and sea sand. And they used the sea sand from beaches around here because it was so cheap. It's not something that's very durable, mainly because it contains too much salt. So what we have to do here, we have to scratch off all this plaster, get all the mortar out from in between the bricks, and then we need to repoint the bricks, replaster the wall.
You can also see that at one point, I think in the 80s, they painted the bricks.
Oh, it was way before, I think it was the 60s.
Oh, really?
They painted everything red, Instead of renovating, they just painted over the bricks. Luckily, the paint came off more or less, so.
I am a little concerned, I don't know what you think, Philip, but we can see a few structural cracks. I think we need to get an architect or a surveyor to have a look at the structure.
But we can go inside. It's quite nice inside. Warning, we have seen a rat inside here once, so there might be some surprises. What I like in here is the floor. It's a really nice brick floor, and it's a traditional floor. Unfortunately, I don't think we can keep that.
Why not?
Because it's wonky.
I want to keep it. I like the wonkiness.
No, you can't put a table down here. You can't keep
Maybe
the
we
floor.
can make a wonky table so it can accommodate for the wonky floor.
It's also moist. You need to make some isolation, some insulation on the floor. Well, you can make a brick floor if you like them on top of it.
It's interesting because here they're different bricks to over here.
So that was the hallway, and here was where the horses were.
Yeah.
Do you want to keep this?
I don't think that we need to keep that.
It's also pretty ugly.
I love the fact that on this side you can see the original doorway, because on the other side it's all blocked up with wood, so you don't see that. So I think that will be beautiful as a feature to restore that. We can have this reopened. I would remove this. Then I think if we can have those doorways with windows on them, it would be a really lovely light space in here. I don't know why, but for some reason I see this space, either it's my desk space where I have my designing, or we might have an area where I have washing facilities for my screens and that sort of thing.
I think this room being the south-facing room, if you have these three openings, that's going to be absolutely light.
Yeah.
So that's more where you would work probably on your desk or something. And then the machines and your screens more in the other room.
Yeah.
So that could become the clean room. and on the other side more the
Messy
workshop,
room.
the messy room.
I think that's a good plan. We had an idea for the gardening stuff. Should we go and have a look where we thought that could be situated?
Oh yes, in the middle part.
Yeah.
Well, there's two options. I'm going to show
Have you taken measurements?
Oh.
We need measurements.
None of these three openings is the same.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh dear. So it's a bit like the Chateau where nothing is straight.
Yeah.
Nothing makes sense. They just kind of built like...
Randomly openings.
Yeah. I hope my parents are not watching this because only a couple of months ago they helped to take all of the cardboard out of here and take it to the tip. So
you see, that worries me a bit because the bricks are coming out and the whole wall looks a little bit warped.
Yeah.
So obviously this has moved. Sometimes there's some brackets that you can put in from outside which holds the metal brackets and the beam, and they hold the walls together. So the main problem here with this building is that there's no foundations. These buildings were just built on top of a couple of stones and bricks. They go maybe into the soil that deep, not deeper. There's no cellar, there's no massive foundations. So the walls are not really stable. Here there's the former toilets, probably for the workers here. They are still functioning. I mean,
they're still functioning,
well,
aren't they?
the hole is still there, that's all it was.
But where does it go to?
Into the ground. And then there is a space here where probably now and then they had to empty it. There were two toilets, men, women, and there was a third one, a gender neutral one.
Philip. It's probably still quite useful to keep this. I was wondering if we wouldn't be able to make an opening and keep this as a toilet space and have an opening through from the other side.
Oh, because madam can't go outside the toilet like...
No.
The workers did it for hundreds of years.
I'm just asking if it would be possible.
Huh.
Just to be a bit more convenient.
That's true. It would be a bit more convenient, but we might find a space inside.
And would you like to explain what this interesting
This pipe?
thing is? Yes.
We don't really know. It is a pipe that is fed from the rainwater on this roof, and it goes in here.
From the gutters.
From the gutters, but it's so overgrown we don't know where it goes. I think there's some sort of water collecting tank in there. We don't know. It's going to be exciting to discover when we work on this one. Maybe we also can clean this area here.
Yeah, because there is some kind of structure under there,
Underneath,
isn't there?
yes.
This window is definitely in some need of repair, Philip.
It is. This is in rather good state, this side. I like this side, my favorite side.
Why is it your favourite side?
Because this is going to become, I think behind here, I want to create a sauna.
I love that idea.
Yes. Welcome in our wellness paradise.
Oh my goodness. I'm not sure it's going to be too good for our health to begin with, but...
I also don't know how far we should dare to go in there, because all these ceiling things come down.
Oh dear.
It's falling down.
So it's quite a small space, isn't it? It's got right now some massive boiler in here.
This used to be a pump that was pumping the water from our very deep well. And if you don't know about our well, I suggest you watch the video, which I will link here or here. And they used this pump to pump the water for the property, and they used the well water to water the gardens. Now this doesn't work anymore. The well doesn't work for the moment, and we certainly don't need this massive pump, because nowadays pumps for a well would be much smaller. But it's not that old. If you look at these, it looks like 70s or something. It's not, or even 80s.
A little bit of rewiring to do.
Yeah, and I particularly like this. I love this marble switchboard. You know these? 1, 2, 3. This is like in the movies, you know? I had enough, let's blow up everything. That's gonna be fun to clean this place. What's that?
I wonder if we're going to find any treasures when we clear it.
I think I found treasure.
Really?
Yeah.
What is it?
I do not know, but it looks like some 50s electrical radiator. Look at this typo. Look at the design of this. I think it's an electric radiator, I would say. This is the pump, obviously, an electrical motor.
Could that be our cold plunge?
Yes, I think so.
Or the sauna?
You know, first of all, here you have the, what is it called, the Reaper?
I think this is...
You look like death.
This is for cutting
No, that's death.
grain.
One of my favorite Monty Python's movie, The Salmon Moose. And this is funny. You see what tools were on the wall.
Maybe they're all just fallen down.
It's like some prehistoric wall paintings, but actually it's
They just painted around it or something.
that's the light.
Looks like Philip's been here doing some electrics.
Yeah, totally my style.
Yeah. And there's another room through here. I'm not sure if this opening was always meant to be here, but it seems to
Yes.
be.
So if that would be the sauna, what would you see inside? I think this has to be the sauna because then this could be the view outside, and I
Yeah.
think that would be lovely.
How big is it?
3.52. So that could be a one long bench, and then around the corner, 1.9. I think that's big enough. It's a good size.
Yeah.
Speaking of the annoying task of measuring, do you know which company takes away all the frustrating steps when it comes to creating an outstanding online presence? You're totally right. Squarespace, an all-in-one platform to build web pages, which also happens to be this week's ad. Whether it's for personal use, for a professional portfolio, to sell products and services, or now even to collect donations, it is the easiest and most time-efficient way to achieve a great result without the need of having to hire a programmer or designer. Setting up a page with Squarespace is a straightforward process. Pick a template, adapt it to your needs, or simply use Squarespace's integrated AI feature called Design Intelligence to find the perfect look and color scheme for your business across all your online presence. You can integrate a Squarespace payment tool to be able to invoice your clients and get payments through major payment providers without needing a third party. I highly suggest head over to squarespace.com for a free trial, and if you're ready to launch, head over to squarespace.com/howtorenovate Chateau to get 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. So now you're at the back side of the sauna, and another room which is useful to us because we store a lot of things in here. Well, I think this is the most damaged area because if you look up here, there's definitely a problem up there, and some beams are missing, and there's a big crack in the wall because here's the sauna behind this wall.
Yeah.
So this is going to be the shower, and maybe we have just the seating area or cold shower, warm shower, toilet.
Pretty disgusting in here.
Okay, there's
isn't
some rat poop there. I think that's rat poop or some other animal.
it? Gross. There's also another broken glass pane over there.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun to clean this place. I love cleaning rat poop and dead rats or whatever else you'll find here. Or even worse, living rats.
So we're not actually going to move everything to open in here, but there is another space, and that goes through to where the sauna area will be. I mean, they are stable, these, aren't they?
The stairs are stable,
But I'm not going to go further than the top of the
well,
stairs.
I can guide you because I think I remember where we've been. I don't think we need to touch this upstairs area here.
Well, we just leave it in dans son jus, as they say in French, in its juice.
In its juice.
Just leave it like this, you think?
Well, we need to sort out the floor, but then we're not gonna turn it into something, are we?
I mean, I think we do. There is some work to be done up here, though.
If you start doing the roof as well, it becomes a massive project, and
Yeah, but we can't leave it like this.
why not?
Okay, we're going to do it in different stages. This will be.
Phase 2.
So this was actually where somebody lived, I think, at one point.
Yeah.
Okay, here we have to be very careful because we don't know how secure these.
Yes, unfortunately the floorboards are not safe here anymore, so we can't go any further than that. But we did a video once, a tour of this building, and you can watch it. I can try to link it so you can see what happens there. It was a bit in better condition, but now I think it has become even more moldy.
We definitely need to replace some of the floorboards because under this here is a massive hole.
Which worries me a bit because does it mean that we have to replace the whole floor here?
I don't know. We need to check each floorboard probably, right?
Yeah.
And we were thinking that we could insulate from above and have insulation up here.
I'm just a bit afraid that this renovation project is now getting out of hand.
Yeah, the problem is we start with one job and then it grows and it sort of snowballs into hundreds of jobs and it gets bigger and bigger.
The good news is the roof is in good condition.
Yeah, the structure of the roof, the timbers look good. Ooh,
You see?
that doesn't look good.
It does this, but I think it used to be like that before. I'm pretty sure that Benoit can just fix that for us.
And what do you think? Should we just keep these? We probably have to keep these as they are so that they have the same look from the outside, right?
Well, you could put windows in there, but why would you put windows in there if you don't use
this? Yeah.
But we need to close it at one point, but I'm not really confident to go there.
I definitely wouldn't go there because
Yeah.
you can see that there is a massive hole.
Maybe I can go there.
Be careful, Philip. I don't know if that's safe.
All the way there.
But really careful. It's got something in front of it, no? But look.
There's a beam underneath, so I'm sure that the beam will not. I'm sitting literally on top of
The hole.
the moldy wood.
Careful. Oh, well done.
Good.
Careful, Philip. Careful, really careful.
It's a long fall if you fall down here.
Yeah.
But that was good. I'm happy now. There should be a little bit less water coming in. Let's go down, because
Okay.
that is depressing here.
Do you not want to take any of the measurements up here or not?
No.
Not for now.
Because I was hoping that we can leave the roof as it is and just focus on the ground floor. But I think there's a lot of things that have to be addressed. But now we announced it on YouTube that we have to do this, so we have to do it. We should have done this tour before we bragged about the renovation on YouTube. And I hope you enjoy the next 10 years of renovating the coach house.
In an ideal dream world where we were not constrained by a budget, I think that I would love to have these as glass doors. Open this up through to the other area and have this as part of the studio space. But the reality is, to make glass doors here would be extortionate, and right now that's not
So
really...
trust me, Anna, what I've just seen with the upper floor, the glass doors are not the issue here.
Really?
Or the doors are not the issue, no.
No?
No.
Oh, well, anyway, so I think our budget will be spent on more structural things, probably, for now. But perhaps this could be another part of the renovation at a later stage.
But the question
So-
is, would you need it as a studio?
Not initially. I think I would
Okay.
have enough space, but who knows what happens in the future. I could maybe expand it into this area. Right now, it's a good, secure space where we can store all of this big machinery, and we would need to find another building, another outbuilding, which we have, but we would just need to make sure they were secure.
So not a renovation.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a vicious circle, you realize.
Yeah. So I think for now, it would be good to tidy this, clear this area. We do have a lot of old windows here that we don't really need. We have all of the old shutters.
That we need to store somewhere because we don't know if we have to reinstall them or if we want to reinstall them one day.
Yes, we want to keep them in case, but I think we just need to tidy up and sort it out. And Philip, have you seen? That
course.
is huge, that crack.
Yes, that's the biggest crack. That's upstairs where we are scared to fall through
Oh my
the ceiling.
goodness. And like underneath by the beams, they're completely rotten.
Yes,
And the brickwork has all fallen
that was
down.
the beam where I was standing on.
Interestingly enough, on this side you have some kind of bracket, and on this side we don't have one.
Yeah, I think we need one here as well.
Yeah.
So we need to install a bracket, we need to take care of the floorboards, and only when these things are sorted, we can even think about renovating downstairs. And again, here the floor is nice, the
Beautiful brick.
herringbone floor
Yeah.
with tile, with bricks, but it's all wonky and you
That
can't really
doesn't-
use it.
It's fine for
For a shed, you could use it,
Yes, it's fine for a gardening shed.
but it's not insulated or anything, so it's just going to
doesn't
be
matter.
cold. You will never be able to heat this room if you want to heat it. You know what I mean?
Yes, if I was to make it part of my atelier, we'd have to think about it. But
Yeah.
I think for now, it's going to
Yeah.
be
As it
used
is.
for storing gardening
Yeah.
equipment, so it'll be fine. Have you seen this graffiti here, Philip?
What's that?
I don't know. It looks like a person. No? And some writing. I can't make out what it says.
Oh yeah, it's a person with a aura.
So it's going to be a big project.
What are the next steps?
I think the next step is going to be starting to clear it out, and we've got the architect, he's supposed to be coming soon, so we can have a look around with him, assess the structure, what work needs to be done, and he can start doing some plans, because we're going to have to make some drawings and apply for planning permission before we do any major changes, and that could take a couple of months. And probably call Jean-Paul and ask him to come and give us a quote for the facade work as well.
It's our mason.
That's our mason, sorry, if you don't remember. How are you feeling?
To be honest, I'm a bit overwhelmed. I couldn't remember in what bad condition the first floor is. And taking account all the repairs upstairs, it's going to be a massive job before we can even start thinking at the
Downstairs,
first floor, the
yeah.
downstairs. At the same time, we need to order now the windows and everything, so we need to be as quick as possible with the architect and with the planning, because we want to order the windows. It will take a couple of months, I hope 2 months or so, for them to be made. We need to plan, we need to see how much it will cost, so we can decide whether we can make these nicely glass doors, or if we have to restore the old doors. And there's a lot of questions that depend on the budget, of course. And then we will see. But I hope we can start, we can clean very soon, this week, maybe next week. We start cleaning, and then we can start do small jobs inside. And it is exciting, but also daunting.
No, come on.
I want to be finished with this by the end of the year.
Yeah, me too. I think it's possible.
Yes, it is possible. So please, if you want to see us working on this, if you haven't done it yet, subscribe. It helps us enormously. Leave us a comment, leave us a like, tell us what your visions would be for this building.
And we've also got some big news, haven't we?
We have big news. After 3 years or 4 years
Yes.
of doing YouTube under the name of How to Renovate a Chateau Without Killing Your Partner, we decided things have to change, because
Yes.
our main focus this year is going to be the outbuilding, and maybe other outbuildings and so many other exciting projects. And they all have one thing in common: they all do not happen in the chateau, and still we have chateau in the name. So we thought it might be appropriate if we slightly change our name, or completely change our name, to be more coherent with what we're doing.
And we spoke a little bit about this a couple of months ago with our Patreon community.
Yes.
And
We got some suggestions, we asked for suggestions.
It feels like appropriate right now for where we are at with the channel, with our projects, with our life, and we're excited to
Yes,
continue.
but it's going to be, it doesn't mean any other change, it's just a name
No.
change.
Yeah.
So it reflects more the fact that there are these buildings as well, not only the chateau, and we don't want to see them just as side projects to the chateau, because it's a huge project and they are beautiful buildings, and so, that's it.
Yeah. So
Good.
keep an eye out for our channel, because if it doesn't come up as How to Renovate a Chateau,
It's still us.
it's still us. Okay, my arm is actually killing me right now.
All right.
All right, guys.
Bye guys, see you next week.
See you next week.